Good morning, Intenders.
Good morning.
Welcome and welcome back to Morning Intentions. Today is Wednesday, July 8th, and thank you for joining us for this month of life changes and reprioritizing. Annette, you wanted to share a little bit more about our identities, is that right?
I wanted to share a little bit about your concept of life math. Maybe share isn't the exact right word.
How is everything adding up for you?
Well, I had to laugh in maybe an uncomfortable laugh, thinking of it that way.
Kind of like that?
Well, you know those fake laughs when you're like trying not to cry, but you're laughing instead?
I know. Okay, I know those laughs. Come on now.
Okay, so I was thinking about this after the podcast yesterday. I was in remedial life math until I was like 52. 52! That's why I like being a coach, because I have had so many of these experiences and, not being able to say no, not having boundaries, not understanding life structure had to work for me too. Didn't really understand about truly communicating feelings and needs. It was more, I was just going to say what I thought you wanted me to say. I thought about that all day yesterday, thinking about this life math. It has to add up. It has to add up. And when we are living out identities that don't serve us anymore, they're not even true anymore, or we're putting identities onto other people that aren't true, which this happens, it makes life more challenging than it has to be. I know there's this struggle when we have to tell someone, I loved being the organizer, I don't want to be the organizer anymore. Like, that can be excruciating for someone.
Would you rather eat dog food than be the organizer?
Well, see, do you know why it was so easy for you to go, well, I'd rather eat dog food than do that? Because that's you. But if you're not that, that's the identity I've created for you. It's like, well, it's easy for Ada to say those things because she's not going to allow boundary destroying. She's going to say what she needs. But then if you're a certain type of person, you don't want to, and it's not that you don't care about other people, because you totally do. Like, you're like the most caring person I know. But there's something inside of us when we think about reprioritizing. I also wanted to reread our working definition of reprioritizing, because there's something about letting go of this identity so that I can really show up in what's authentic and true today. Oh my gosh, that can be a struggle. That's why we're talking about it at basically the beginning of this reprioritizing month, because we can't reprioritize if we're not willing to be authentic and really share what's true. We won't be able to, because we'll just fall back into those old patterns and ways of being.
So what you're sharing then is that a key ingredient to the recipe of life changes and reprioritizing is authenticity.
Authenticity, honesty,
integrity,
knowing that we matter. The needs list that we use, like to be seen, to be heard, to be known, and to matter, to truly apply that to ourselves, as opposed to just like, oh, no. I want you to know that you matter to me. It's more like, well, we also have to matter to ourselves enough to do this. And that can be the tough part. So I wanted to share for anyone else out there who thought about that yesterday, is like, how's my life math going? My life math was in very poor shape until about 52. I was functioning. I was trying my best to contribute, but it feels so much more natural now. Just like what you were sharing yesterday. Now I can say that I don't have any investment in what somebody else says about me or thinks about me. If they are not willing to talk to me about it or share something about it, work with me on that. Of course, I care if you're close to me or if you're a client. I want us to have a really nice, honest, authentic relationship. But some of that other peripheral stuff is just gone. Would you be willing to allow me to read the definition, though? Because I think we need a refresher.
Please do. It's always good to read these definitions at least once a week, refresh ourselves on the words. And so I'm not just going to let you do that. I would love for you to do that.
Okay. So reprioritizing is the intentional practice of adjusting how we spend our time, how we spend our energy, attention, resources, so that they reflect who we are becoming rather than who we used to be. Today, we wanted to focus on time, reprioritizing our time. And there is a progression to how we're approaching reprioritizing this month. Just like I said, if I'm holding on to old, outdated identities that do not even reflect who I am now, it will be hard for me. It will be impossible for me, actually, is what I should say, for me to reprioritize my time to reflect what's really going on inside, because I will be showing up the same way, committing to the same things, thinking I need to do the same things. We need to look at what mattered to us before that doesn't matter to us now. What identities do we have going on now that no longer serve us? What identities do we have going on now that are true? And then when we start looking at time, then we're mathing. The math is adding up, because then we're dealing with everything that's current, true, honest, and then we can make intentional decisions to reflect all of that. And when I say reprioritizing our time, I'm not talking about productivity, just so everybody's clear. I'm talking about alignment. Remember, we were talking about alignment earlier this year. Is it in alignment with our values? Is how we spend our time in alignment with who we are? Just wanted to make that clear.
Because this isn't about getting more stuff done.
No.
That's not our goal.
No.
I keep going back to my word of the year, which is wholeness, and yours is anchored. I have taken that commitment to wholeness very seriously this year. And what comes up for me while we're talking about reprioritizing our time, I've noticed over the last couple of months, God, it feels like I'm going to bed later and later and later and later. So I've been thinking, well, why is that? I don't want to go to bed late. I make a plan. I want to go to bed by 10:30 every single night. And then it's closer to 11 or 11:30. So I've been racking my brain. Why does that keep happening? Why am I going to bed later than I want? And I'm not even trying to. It's just I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and the other thing, all great things. I'm not staying up dinking around or anything. I'm just busy. And then I realized, well, I'm always taking an evening walk, which I wasn't doing before. I'd make excuses in the past. Hey, I'm tired. I'm just not feeling like it. I'll do that tomorrow. I always had a reason, at least one was always in my back pocket, why I shouldn't go home and take a nice evening walk with my pup. I'm cooking every meal now. Nothing quick, nothing easy, just everything a nice home cooked meal, which takes a lot more time. So when I'm checking in with reprioritizing my time, the shift in my bedtime came from this quest for wholeness, and it feels good to take a walk at the end of every day. It feels amazing to have good food that I've cooked myself. Reprioritizing that time has felt really, really good to me. And I've noticed it has helped with that sense of wholeness that I wanted.
And didn't you also say you're sleeping in a little later too, though? So I'm wondering if you're still getting the same amount of sleep. Maybe it's just arranged a little bit differently in your day.
Actually, I'm getting more sleep. But we'll get in that more tomorrow because we are out of time. So let's do our intention because we still actually have. We didn't get to the main point of reprioritizing time yet.
No, we
this is
had
how we
4
work.
questions to help us, and we didn't even get to one of them.
No, so we'll bring up those 4 questions tomorrow. Our intention for today is, though, a reflection question. Is my time in alignment with who I am today? Is my time and how I use my time in alignment with who I am today? Thank you so much for joining us today. Our day is better because you are part of our day. See you tomorrow.
See you then.